Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirits. Welcome home. This reading today is about what happens next. So, what comes next for you? Let's see. Pile number one, we have Gemini, Leo, Libra, and Taurus. Your card is Kuan Yin with sacrifice. And this is the Hanged Man in this deck. So for pile number two, we have Cancer, Virgo, Pisces, and Aquarius. Your card is the Queen of Swords. So for pile number three, we have Scorpio, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Aries. Your card is the Empress, represented here by Lakshmi. Okay, beautiful. I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the card, the zodiac sign, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number one. So, what comes next to you? We have Kuan Yin with sacrifice. And this is the Hanged Man in this specific deck. So, this is a very special entity for me, Kuan Yin. I always have a little bit of trouble with the pronunciation. She can also be Kanon in Japan, for example, or Guanxiyin in other parts of Asia. And she is similar to Mother Mary in the West, although she has a little bit of a different story, of course. But there's something here about the nurture, the surrender that comes from nurturing others. So you gain some sort of connection by surrendering. Okay, let's see. What else? So what is next for pile number one? That's enough. So we have the door, and this is the 16th moon mansion. Interesting. And musician with the second moon mansion. And we have the waxing crescent moon with increase in water. And this is the sprout phase. The keyword is instinct. So you're being led by your instincts towards something. So we have Mercury in Virgo with caution, and Mars in Scorpio with revenge. Okay. Receiving a gift and theft. That's interesting. So I think you have a hunch about something and you're right about it, but there's someone else interacting with this situation or this potential that you might have demonstrated, and they might be kind of waiting, just waiting for you to get something so they can get that for themselves. Hmm. But whatever this is, your first impression and your instinct about it is correct. That's how I'm feeling. So you might be getting something that you think is valuable, and immediately you see that there's something else behind it, or that there's someone else that's trying to maybe take it away from you, or to interfere with you getting this, or to say that it's theirs. No, to claim it. So then we have cosmos with globalization, playfulness, the self, and spontaneity. And also smoke with purification, union, community, and protection. Another thing here is that the door and the musician both talk about having opportunities come to you and having to decide things suddenly, having to seize the moment, and without the chance to reflect. But I do think that if you follow your instinct, it seems like your first instinct, so the first connection that you make regarding whatever proposal or opportunity comes to you, it seems to be right. So, but there's a twist here. There's a twist because we have revenge and theft. And I do feel like you need some kind of protection. So let's see what would that be. So what is this opportunity about? Queen of Cups. 10 of Cups. Two of Cups. Wow. So this can be romantic, but this can also be enjoying someone's presence, deeply enjoying it, having a great connection with this person. I do feel like you're going to get confirmation on an intuition that you had maybe some time ago, sometime in the past. And I do feel like, I feel like it's going to give you the opportunity to recover something also, to get something back. To get something back. Okay. Nine of Staves. And the Eight of Swords. Okay. Okay, so this is giving me a little bit of confusing vibe. So it seems like your intuition is correct. There's a great connection and friendship coming in for you. There's a lot of opportunities there, but it does feel like you have to be extra careful after, and you have to be very cautious. You have to be you have a limited amount of movements. to use until you achieve what you want, which is strange because there's still a gap between what you want and the objective, but it can be very small and you have like 1 or 2 moves left. Okay, it seems like you need to use your opportunities very wisely. Very carefully. It feels like there's someone kind of waiting for you to make a mistake. 10 of Pentacles. Prince of Cups. 3 of Cups. Look at that. This is so dreamlike and idyllic and perfect. It seems like everything is fitting in its rightful place. It seems like everything is so perfect. It's so similar and it's so close to what you have dreamt for yourself. Okay, so what is the advice here? Because it seems like it's going to flow neatly and it's going to be a joyful meeting or a joyful coming together of minds and of hearts. It feels like it's going to produce whatever you desire. It seems like a dream come true. Okay, so what's the advice here for pile number 1? 6 of Staves. Look at that. King of Cups. And then we have 2 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Oh. I feel like you might need to act with some diplomacy because there is everything can go perfectly well, but you need to be careful with something. It might have some kind of legal implication. It might have some kind of, there might be a detail that you need to be careful with. You might need to also consult an expert on this. It might be a legal expert or whatever this reading is about for you, because it can be about so many things. Whatever makes you truly happy and content, and whatever opens up your heart for loved ones and even romantic opportunities or friendships, connections, that professional connections, I don't know, something that truly lifts your spirit and feels like you're in the flow of life. Because I do feel like it has the potential. So you have right now in your life the potential to get amazing opportunities and to seize them, to be right when you have a certain gut feeling about someone or a situation. So your instincts are on point. It's in the end, so it's in the processing and of the it's in the it's in the part where you put it on paper, or it's in the part when you know you're creating something that can last for a long time and possibly even outlast you. So it's something that has a potential to be a legacy. When that part, when you get to that part, you need to be very careful with the fine print. That's what I'm seeing here. Because I also get this thing that in the end, so when this process is solidified and there's an agreement and everyone comes together, maybe there's a celebration, you have the Three of Cups, maybe there's some kind of ritual or a setting when everybody comes together, or when you come together with the other person. I don't know what this means, but when that happens, you might have the opportunity to get something back that was stolen from you. And I think that by that time, what you need to have in mind is, how are you protected? How am I a part of the community? How am I contributing to the maximum? And also feeling like there's a tremendous and profound sense of service and purpose in my life. Because Kuan Yin is about surrendering yourself to a higher cause. So giving your life a higher meaning is the most important outcome here. So it's something that is like a legacy that you will leave, something that will leave profound, it will leave a mark, it will have profound effects on the community and even the world, if you think about it, because there's the butterfly effect here. There's a ripple effect to this. It's a legacy. It's something that will possibly even outlive you. So when you are sealing the deal, or when you are coming together, when you are signing something, make it solid enough for you so that you still think it's worthwhile, and you still think it's beautiful for years to come. So you have to think years and years down the line, even generations, if that's your case. So it feels like you do need to explore the ideas and the concepts that you are playing with, because I feel like the implications are a little bit beyond what you have understood up until now. So maybe if you try to extrapolate the consequences for coming years and decades and centuries, even, like what does your decision, and I'm not saying that you have to control, of course we don't control the outcomes, and we are surrendering ourselves to a certain flow. But when we do things, especially when we are focusing on, when we have an intention, okay, that is in our heart, that is honest, that is pure, when we take certain actions, and especially when they are very meaningful, very important, like signing contracts, signing agreements, it's something that's also for a community, a larger community. It's very important, the intention and the meaning that you derive from that action. So you'll have amazing opportunities opening up for you. You'll be celebrating something really big in your life. I do feel like you have all the paths are open for you to choose, which one is the best. I do feel like there's also this sense of freedom, of choice here. I feel like you are free to choose your path. And you have to use a lot of judgment and a lot of care specifically using your instinct and using your emotions to also filter reality. So it's interesting because it's like you have this contract and it's very formal, it's very something that's very um, pragmatic in a sense, and it's just words on a page, and they have implications with the legal system, they have implications with the community. There's this very practical and um, orderly and contained, let's say, action. So this is what it takes, this is what you have to do, and these are the consequences. Here's the list, here's what your rights and your obligations. And then there's the emotional side of this, there's the spiritual side of this that I feel like has a huge impact in the outcome, because you have the opportunity to get something back that was stolen from you. And if you're not careful with this, and if you don't have this into consideration, I feel like the opposite can happen. So you not only not get you might not get what you lost or what was taken from you, but also it's also kind of increases the effects of that emptiness that was created. So I feel like this is also purifying your spirit in a way that gives you inner peace about that part of you that was not present sometimes, or that was put into question, or that was kind of censored. Um, I feel like you're getting back a part of yourself. And maybe you can even give it a specific, make an analogy with your body, for instance. So if you would imagine that your soul is a mirror image of your body, and if you would think that maybe there are parts of your soul that are more distant, or that are more, how do I say this, out of focus, or, less present, because we're always whole, we're always connected, but sometimes it's hard for this experience here to contain all that we can be and all that is our soul. So sometimes we kind of stumble into being, and we kind of try and fit as much as we can into the puzzle, but there's always something missing. That's how I'm feeling, and that's what my intuition also tells me about our experience here, and specifically in this case and this experience also of the people that I'm talking to in this reading, is that there is an absence. There's something absent that has to be made present, and it will have the opportunity to be made present in some sort of ritual or coming together or celebration. And you must prepare for that. You must be conscious and aware of what is happening fully. There's also something here about the words that are spoken, and how what are the words that you choose at that moment, what you choose to say, or how you write, What are the ideas and the concepts that you want to express? Because I feel like the outcome is still to be decided. You have so many opportunities to do this right, but you also have the freedom to not engage with this. And what happens if you don't engage with this presence and this greater awareness is that you probably won't get that back, won't get that peace back, won't get what you deserve. And you should get what you deserve. I feel like you shouldn't feel limited, you shouldn't feel restrained, you shouldn't feel restricted. That's what I meant to say. But that requires a lot of awareness and a lot of consciousness. Theft can also be like a blind spot, okay? So I feel like this reading is coming to you so that you are aware that there is a blind spot about a situation that prevents you from fully engaging in a celebration. And I feel like you have to trust your instincts that you have what it takes, you have the opportunities coming to you. And while trusting that, build upon it, build upon that certainty and that trust in God, trust in the universe, trust in the flow, trust in your own surrender. Your honest, pure heart surrender is also creating the opportunities. So keep that up and keep your heart open, because even when we are dealing with things that are more mundane, like contracts, like agreements, very formal things, legal things, taxes, whatever. Even in those moments, if we can keep our heart open, it seems like solutions and opportunities just come easily, and it's so much more flowy and soft. And it's dreamlike. So if you keep that up, I feel like there is an unfolding here. And it seems like it's really soon. I would say in a few months, you'll be in a completely different place. And while you're at it, while you're going in that direction, try to put heart into things that may seem kind of boring, like doing your taxes or reading a contract. And I don't know, maybe I'm even talking to people who love doing that. Maybe you're an accountant, or maybe you are a lawyer and you love that part of reality, that part of the experience. But sometimes, and I think that maybe most people who are not into those areas, they feel like it's very challenging. So if that is so, that is your challenge. If that's not a challenge, just be aware that your pleasure and the written word and the legal aspect of your life is somehow connected. And the careful, vigilant, and cautious nature, if you have that temperament. So if you do things like that, if you use that kind of energy, you'll be able to still define things very well, but also flow with pleasure and have a lot of opportunities coming for you. I feel like this is one big thing also in this reading, that you're going to have people come to you with proposals or with I don't know, with something to give to you, like they want to give something to you. Receiving a gift with many eyes looking at you. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. So what happens next for you? We have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is about intellectual endeavors, and she has a bit of a distance from sensual pleasures, from the body, the sensations of the body. So maybe something that has to do with using your mind and not your senses. Okay, let's see. So we start with what is next for pile number 2. Okay, 2. So we have Ishtar. This is a Pisces card. And then we have, this is the waning gibbous moon. And she is decreasing in fire. And this is the fruit stage. The keyword is confidence. Looks like a pomegranate. And then we have, so this is waxing crescent. Yeah, this is the waxing crescent moon, increase in water. And this is the sprout stage with the keyword instinct. Also came out in pile number 1. Okay, so what is this about for pile number 2? What is happening next? We have Venus in Taurus with romance. Mars in Libra with choice. Sun in Aquarius with idealism. And Moon in Gemini with adaptability. Okay. So we have bereavement and theft. Also came out in pile number 1. That's interesting. Okay. Wow. That was interesting. So we have visions, synchronicities, confirmation, and exploration. And revelation, sudden change, authenticity, justice, ego, death. Okay. Okay, so right away it seems like you are distancing yourself from emotional distress. And it feels like you will be very focused on intellectual endeavors, or you'll have a more cerebral approach to life. And it feels like it's a great adaptation. It's I feel like it's also giving you a lot of confidence that you can overcome challenges, that you have the ability to kind of float above things if you need to. So you're not too involved in the turmoil, in the confusion. What I sense here is like this distance between the feelings, the turbulence, and your mind and your well-being. It's like you're floating. I feel like you're floating above things. And it's not something that is in any way diminishing your experience and your involvement in life. It's just a different way. It's an adaptation to the times, to the changing times. It might also have something to do with the use of technology. The use of technology to, from a very adverse situation, get something that's valuable, even if there is some type of loss or problem. There's something good that comes out of it because either you use technology or you use a very rational approach to things, you use technique. It's like you choose the way that is best for this situation. And I feel like soon, so what comes next to you is something like you confirming that you made the right choice to distance yourself from something. Because it might have felt like a loss, but it wasn't. It was a great adaptation. It was a great strategy. Knight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. And Ace of Wands. So it's not like you're losing any passion for life. It's not like you're losing any motivation. It's really just a different approach that's less intense in certain aspects, and it ends up powering up other things in your life. And I feel like this reading comes to you so that you know that what comes next is just confirmation that you made the right choice. And you're going to get the rewards for this. Okay. Page of Wands. And the Queen of Cups. You're maybe even getting some kind of message or some kind of information that is destined for you, that is destined to unlock certain parts of your heart that might have been closed off for a while, like in suspension, in waiting, but receptive. And I'm saying this because she's holding an apple, but I'm certainly reminded of the pomegranate that I saw here in the beginning. And the pomegranate is the fruit that Persephone eats in the underworld, in Hades' kingdom. So something was dormant, or something was made dormant. Persephone spends half the year under in the underworld with Hades, and the other half with her mother. So, and this is of course a symbol for nature, for the seasons. So something's dormant, or something was dormant. So I feel like maybe there will be an awakening. Haha, sudden change, revelation. So maybe there will be an awakening, or so either someone is revealing something to you, revealing themselves, or revealing something about their intentions to you, or you are also revealing a part of yourself to others. Three of Cups, and wow. I think you'll have an unexpected encounter, possibly. The Chariot. And the Knight of Pentacles. It feels like someone has a will, I wouldn't say desire, because it seems like it's something just more carnal in nature, and it's not necessarily that. So maybe someone has an intention, someone has their directed attention. I feel like it's someone else towards you, but it's not necessarily the case. It might be that you will have this intense focus on something that you really, really want in your life, and it might be triggered by an encounter. So either there's a person coming to you with intent, with a specific intention, with a message, with a specific communication, some sort of truth, a revelation. They can come with beautiful feelings also. This can be romantic, not necessarily you have romance. Knight of Cups, yeah, there is an emotional component here, but not necessarily. You can also become really invested in something that you really want to do, that you really want to accomplish. And in the next, let's see the time frame for this. I will check it later. So in the next weeks, months, you might have intense focus. I feel like you will have like, okay, everything kind of fades to the background, and you laser focused on something triggered by an encounter. Ten of Cups. Wow. Seven of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. And the King of Pentacles. This is telling me to wait until things are more established, to expose it to the world. Because I think you're going to get a glimpse of something like, this is coming true. I know the direction. This is exactly what I'm meant to be doing. But I think it would be clever to wait a little longer, and only expose this to the world when it's already completely established and solid. Because I think that you're in the coming weeks and months, you are going to get a lot of um, clarification on certain initiatives and how to turn things into reality, how to build things, how to work on them. I feel like you're also maybe learning something new. So maybe you're studying something that you really want to be good at, and it would be very wise to not talk about it with anyone, to just keep it a secret, to just do it on your own time so that it only comes out into the sun when you're ready, when you're fully content and solid. Okay, so this have sort of a time frame here. The Emperor. I feel like this can mean 4 weeks, and also reinforces this idea of things will happen when discipline and structure and order are set in place. So when you have a routine that is solid, like I can achieve this, this is sustainable, I can do this every day, or I can add this to my routine, I can achieve this in a specific time period. I feel like the Emperor and the King of Pentacles is also giving me this idea of having a calendar that is really well organized, and that maybe it's something that you can successfully include in your life. So having a really good plan of the next 4 weeks, for instance, and then start from there, and then try to also continue that, because I feel like there's also this possibility, this potential to build something solid, something that can last. The Emperor and the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So you have this building that lasts, something that is very, very solid, very, very, it's like the structure is deep into the earth. It's not something that's just of the moment. You have the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, so there is inspiration, there's motivation, there's passion here, there's directed attention, there's focus, and I feel like there's a tremendous amount of opportunity that can come from this encounter also. I don't know, maybe this person inspires you also somehow, or they have ideas that you can put in practice. They can be a good example. Someone is a good example for you. And I also feel like this encounter can also have this kind of defrosting effect. Maybe it will kind of rekindle a friendship or a romantic relationship. It has this empowering and warming effect, because you start with the Queen of Swords, and this is a great way to achieve things for now. I do think that this is the best strategy to have things are relatively compartmentalized, and it's manageable. Okay, so this is a good adaptation. It's a great strategy. And I think that in the coming weeks, you will also have the addition of great focus and passion. And I think that that's when the Emperor comes in and organizes that energy so that you produce when you're most energetic. So sometimes during the day we have fluctuations of energy. So you know that if you put it in your schedule to be creating something when you're most productive, when you're most energetic. It's much, much better. If you have to spend time on the computer to also try to stop from, like, make small pauses to move your body so that you can kind of reignite vitality, because I think that there is a lot of passion and drive that might come surging towards you. And if you're sitting statically for too long without any interruption, just to move around a little bit, or just to take a small walk, or just jump around, I don't know, or put some music and dance, even if it's just for 1 minute, I feel like it the juices get moving, and you start to feel even like the oxygen going to the brain. Okay, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just trying to paint a picture in your mind of the energy, because I do feel like you're getting this power surge, and it can, if you use it to your advantage, I feel like it can boost your your life. And in 4 weeks you'll feel like the king or the queen. Okay, you'll feel like, I have made something, I have come this far, I'm very, very happy with where I am right now, and I'm solid in my achievements. And maybe then you can start to expose them, because I feel like before, be happy in secret and enjoy yourself, enjoy that passion for yourself, and nurture yourself with it. Don't be afraid, because sooner or later, and maybe if you're careful, sooner, you can also share it. You can also interact with other people and connect with other people using that thing that you like to do. So whatever it is, whatever that skill that you're building, that you're learning. Beautiful, very inspiring, motivating. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3. So what happens next for you? You have the beautiful Shri Lakshmi, the Empress card in this specific deck. And Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and abundance, creativity. I am particularly drawn to her red skin today. I know that in this card it symbolizes her being infused with vitality and energy and creative power. And I don't know why this is calling my attention, as well as the elephants creating the rain, creating the clouds that then create rain that help the agriculture, they help the abundance, the animals, everything in nature needs rain and water. So, there's so much to be said about this card, and it's such a beautiful energy and auspicious, very fortunate energy here. So that's a great start. So let's start with the Moon Oracle. Okay. So what's next for pile number 3? Okay. So we have Isis and the volcano. So maybe this is why I was drawn to the red skin, because you also have the lava and the fossils here. They're super red and intense. Okay. And you have the last quarter. Yeah. Last quarter, decrease in water. And this is the fall. The keyword is manipulation. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of cards. Sun in Aries with assertion. Jupiter in Leo with publicity. Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. Jupiter in Gemini with bluff. And Mercury in Leo with affair. So you have manipulation and bluff. Okay. Strangers, future, innocence, innovation, and turning point. And fields, collective, service, harvest, equanimity. Okay. So what's next for pile number 3? We have gloomy thoughts and gaining a lot of money. That's very interesting. Gaining a lot of money and Shri Lakshmi. That's very auspicious for material matters, for anything related to money, wealth, real estate, property, something like that, assets. But there's a cloud, right? There's a dark cloud here. There's something either clouding your judgment or someone clouding your judgment, trying to make you do things that you don't want to do. Taking advantage of you, maybe. Or taking advantage of a situation that you're in, taking advantage of a situation that can make you vulnerable. Okay. Okay, so I think there's also something to be gained here from recognizing how you really feel about a situation, exploring your feelings about someone or something. And there's also some sort of reward that comes from honesty, that comes from integrity, that comes from making good decisions, but also being honest. It's like building a good future on solid ground. But I feel like for that to happen, you need to address some clouds that are still kind of looming around you. Nine of Wands or Nine of Staves. There's more than meets the eye here. There's a need to explore things. And I feel like it's an inward situation. It's an inward negotiation or exploration. King of Lotuses or Cups. I feel like there's a lot that you're bottling up. And I feel like in order for you to also persuade people, you have to be thoroughly convinced yourself of something. And you can't lie. You can't, I wouldn't say lie. It's not like you're trying to deceive, but you can't not face some shadowy aspects of yourself right now and expect your life to move forward as abundant and as as creative, as abundant as you deserve, because you deserve better. So I feel like, yeah, that would be a very nice start of the conversation with yourself. Is, do I deserve what is happening to me right now? What are the parts that I feel like I deserve? And is it enough? Is it exactly what I feel I deserve? Do I need and want more? This is different, of course, but sometimes we don't realize, excuse me, we don't realize what we need, but we want something. And something sometimes behind what we want or below what we want is exactly what we need. Or in the search for what we want, we will eventually find what we need. And is it enough? So do you have enough? Do you feel like you deserve what you have been dealt? Is it fair for you? How do you feel about it? Because if you also try to bottle up things and not interact with these dark feelings, they will end up creeping up somewhere else eventually. And I feel like you deserve so much more. You deserve so much more. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. And Page of Cups. And the Hermit. So it feels to me like you're getting more than you are expecting out of something, out of a situation, than you were expecting. But it also seems to me that moving forward, a lot of the things that will happen will reflect what you put into them very truthfully. And sometimes it might be harsh. There might be some clouds, okay? And if there are any clouds, if there are any judgments, harsh judgments made, if you receive feedback, or if you have conversations with people that might have some harsh feelings with you, always try to understand what are the parts of yourself that are mirroring that, instead of focusing too much on the other person. Because I feel like your good fortune depends on your attitude. It doesn't depend on other people so much, although there are other people here that I feel the energy. There's an interaction, and also a certain amount of uncertainty, something that's not predetermined, something that's a bit open. And there is an element of luck here, because whenever I see Lakshmi, I am also reminded of fortune, of good fortune, of being blessed with good fortune and growth and protection also. And so if you don't realize, if you feel like you're straying from this feeling, like you're straying from this beautiful sensation of being protected and of being lucky, of getting things that reflect the beautiful parts of you, does this then mean that you are being shown the darker things, the darker aspects? And it's not necessarily the case that we are always just being shown, if things go awry, that we are always being shown parts of ourselves that we should work on and that are our shadows or something like that. But specifically for you, I feel like you're entering a stage when in your life when a lot of opportunities will come for shadow work. And that's kind of a cliche to say, but it is what it is. It is what I'm seeing here. The shadow for me is the clouds, and the clouds should be clear and creating rain, fertilizing the soil, and watering the plants, giving water to the animals and to humans, of course. So if the cloud is more like smoke and it's more like pollution, we can't breathe and everything is so much harder. It doesn't mean that life can't come from it. It does, specifically in the case of the volcano. But also, it creates such a disruption that it also has the potential for destroying life. So I feel like it's kind of up to you, because you have the hermit, and the hermit here for me is like, it's up to you. Ultimately, it's up to you. Whatever happens, if you deal with people who are trying to deceive you, or if you're dealing with people who are unpleasant, manipulating, or if they're very rude, or if they are talking back at you and they, I don't know, if there's something off in the interactions, I do feel like it's like it's up to you. You can choose. Do you want to continue with this person? Do you want to choose another thing? Choose another path? Do you want to go towards another direction? I feel like it's much more up to you than usual, let's say. You have a lot of power to choose. The danger here is bottling up emotions and bottling up the things that are happening during your day and not understanding, not going through the motions, okay? Not living through and not embodying your emotions. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. The Wild card. This is the Fool. Turning point. Okay, so then we have the Six of Wands and the Two of Swords coming together. So I feel like there might be a kind of a standoff. There might be a turning point that comes with the opportunity to hash it out with someone, to clarify things with someone. And that might mean that when you're talking to that person, a lot of bottled up things come up. We have the Strength card. Standing your ground, being upright, being upstanding, and also allowing yourself to use your power, to not be defeated or to not be deprived of your power. Interactions that deprive you from your power, interactions that make you feel like you're not worth it, like you're not enough, like you shouldn't act upon the things that are good for you, that you know are good for you. Those relationships, those kinds of interactions will suffer a bit of strain. They will be challenged. The Emperor. Again with the red skin, right? I don't know why the red skin is important to me. But there's something here about how your skin feels, or the feeling in your body. Something in your body gives you this signal of the power, of the energy that you're sustaining, that you're withdrawing, that you're bottling up. You know the cartoons, the vintage cartoons, old cartoons, when the character is enraged or is burning up or is I don't know, set on fire. Like there's all kinds of crazy cruel things happening in old cartoons, right? And sometimes all the character just becomes red. It's a little bit cartoonish, I know, but there's something about that, like a feeling of a tingling or a feeling in your body that becomes overwhelming, or some sort of it is a demonstration of the vitality. It is a demonstration of the energy that wants to come out. That needs to come out. It's a volcano. It's nature. You can't stop it. It needs to come out. It will come out eventually. And I feel like you are the one that decides how it comes out. And that decision relies on your self-esteem, the things that you want for yourself, and that you're sure that you can get, and that you're sure that you are capable of doing. Ten of Swords. And then you have the Judgment card and Death card. So it does seem to me that you can prevent a whole lot of grievance and a whole lot of conflict if you are sure of yourself and strong in your beliefs, even if it means that you create some discomfort in others, maybe even rage. It's something a bit funny, but we have to be careful with this. There's something about also creating rage in others or allowing rage to emerge in a situation can also have this invigorating effect, this revitalizing effect, which is strange. And it's such a there's a lot of repressing of rage. I feel like it's one of the easiest and the most obvious emotion to be repressed, because of course the use of rage can have such drastic and violent effects. But like a volcano, sometimes we need to release the pressure, and sometimes even interacting with that energy and with that emotion in a way that is healthy. Of course, I'm not saying that violence is the answer. Of course not. That's not at all what I'm trying to illustrate here. But there's kind of a decision that's made, and sometimes anger can be righteous. You also have the strength card, and strength is Durga. And Durga for me also has this energy of righteousness and righteous anger, warrior-like anger. So it's like an effective way to use anger, to be productive with it, even if it's in a conversation or a relationship that is it's just something is not working, something is bottled up, something is behind the scenes. It's like a cloud, and it should be just put out in the open, because I feel like that's a great way to clear things up, to clear the cloud, to clear the confusion, to clarify things, and to also help you focus more on yourself and less on the noise that this relationship or this conversation, this person might be creating. So I feel like there's a whole life after this conversation that might be a little bit, can look like a fight, but it is a turning point, and it's not bad. The result is great. The process might be a little bit chaotic, a little bit dramatic even. There might be a little bit of drama, a little bit of turmoil and harsh thoughts. But coming clean, being honest, being direct, it changes everything. It changes the energy. It kind of resets also the balance. I feel like the mind, because that balance becomes something, it becomes something that it can support your peace of mind. But it does come with a little bit of conflict here. But ultimately it's for the greater good, and it's for the good of everyone. I don't think there's like evil in anyone here. Even if there's manipulation, or if there's something in the shadows here, I don't think that this is done out of evil. It's just the limitations. We all have limitations, and we all have shadow characteristics. So this is just a part of the natural interaction of people. It can be pleasurable, but it also can have this healing effect to have some conflict, to have some direct confrontation with difficult things, with difficult aspects of ourselves. Of course, if I am talking to you, this is more for you, because the other person, they're responsible for their end of the situation, of the problem. It's not up to you to decide what they should do. it will give you a lot of peace of mind, and it will give you, it will put something to rest that's important so that you can focus more on you and less on the clouds, on whatever is clouding your judgment. Okay, thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. I am also available for personal readings at the moment. You can find the email below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.